Thank you so much. So, thank you all. It's really a great pleasure to be here today with all these great hearts and minds, changing the world, growing businesses, having so many ideas and bringing them into reality. That is the true trait of innovators and entrepreneurs. And I'm sure that all of you have a vision for the value that your products and services will bring to your customers. And I do hope that you also have a vision for the value that your company will bring to the world. Because as we have heard today, social impact, sustainability, responsible business is not really a voluntary thing anymore. It's a business imperative. It's a responsibility, and it is an opportunity as well. I've been working for more than 10 years in the intersection of business development, innovation, and sustainability. As an entrepreneur myself, but in most of the recent years as an intrapreneur, leading the change from within large corporations. And I'm very proud to stand here today representing a global company, Dell Technologies, which is indeed the result of one man with a vision. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce here with a small video the CEO and founder, Michael Dell.
I founded Dell Computer Corporation because I felt that...
It all began back in 1984 when I started selling souped-up computers out of my University of Texas dorm room. I believed that people needed access to affordable technology. And over the next 10 years, we grew into a company that helped democratize the PC. The world has changed dramatically since our company began. And so have we. The Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and the cloud are unleashing an unprecedented wave of innovation and progress. At Dell Technologies, we're creating technology that is driving this revolution and shaping our digital future, empowering organizations to reinvent their industries, enabling people to live richer and more connected lives, and giving humanity the tools to build a more productive, inclusive, and sustainable world. We have always believed that if we build the right technology, we can advance human progress. When I look at what lies ahead, I realize that we've barely just begun.
So that is a man with a vision. Today I'm here to talk about how to drive impact with the power of digital technologies and entrepreneurs. So Michael Dell has created his company from a vision, from an idea in a dorm room in Texas, to now being a unique family of business, helping customers around the world seize opportunities in the digital transformation, and of course also protect the data in all the hazards that are out there as well. So 7 companies within this family with a revenue of more than $90 billion, 150,000 team members worldwide, serving 98% of Fortune 500 companies, and thousands and thousands of small and medium-sized growth companies like yourselves. So that is the company he has built. And in my view, this is an even more important business card here, because the ethics, the responsibility, the sustainability piece has been a part of Michael's vision also from the beginning, and it is very much a part of the DNA and the values of the company today. So this is just an example of a few of the most recent international recognitions that we have received in Dell Technologies. For example, the Fortune's World's Most Admired Companies, the Fast Company Innovators, Best Diversity Employer, and for 6 years in a row, we are on the very exclusive list of being amongst the world's most ethical companies. And that is around 100 companies on that list, so that is not for everybody. So this is very important to say. This is actually something that has been built in from the beginning and only growing and expanding. And I know we're talking about, oh, it's much easier for multinationals. But I would sometimes say, also based on my experience throughout time, that the easy thing about being an entrepreneur in a small company is that you make the decisions yourself, and you have a very close connection to integrating this in innovation, in research, in product development, in marketing, in sales, in customer relations, everything. That's a very quick process for getting the idea and implementing into action. So I do believe that yes, multinationals have an important role to play, but the real growth is going to come from entrepreneurs and innovators. So social impact is what we call the overall umbrella of our work, and we are just in the process of launching our vision for 2030, because we just met our 2020 goals. We made ahead of time. So we are launching our 2030 goals, and that vision is called Progress Made Real, because it's not just about a fancy PowerPoint slide here. It is really about showing the real impact that we can make through our business, through our products, and with technology in the world. So this vision builds on the 3 pillars you see here. It's advancing sustainability, which is about driving sustainability at every step of the way in our products and taking care of the people who build our products. It's cultivating inclusion and diversity, which we also talked about earlier today with Obama, which is about making sure that we are building the workforce of tomorrow, making sure that girls and women and people with all kinds of diversity traits get into the tech business. So it's not just for boys and men. It has to be for everybody. And of course, also building and cultivating a workforce where we can all come to work and be the best and the full version of ourselves. And then last but not least, transforming lives with technology, which has traditionally been kind of our giving arm, combining philanthropy and volunteering and technology, but where we're also now venturing more into a social enterprise space. So those are the 3 areas, and I could speak for hours about what's inside each of them, but we're just going to zoom in on one of them here today. But the very important foundation here is also the strong foundation of ethics and privacy, protecting our customer data. So let's zoom in on advancing sustainability, because in our view, in my view, if you look at sustainable business, it's about minimizing the negative impact for people, planet, and economy. And it's about maximizing the positive impact that you can have with your business, with your products, also for planet and people and economy. So here we're thinking about sustainability across the life cycle of our products. And it really starts with the design decisions that have so much importance for anything else that happens in the life cycle of the product. So we start with modular design, because then it's easier to repair and extend the lifetime of our products, and it's also easier to recycle it at end of life. We also use a lot of recycled materials. We're very inspired by what you probably know as a circular economy. If you haven't come across that term, I really encourage you to look into that, because that is your roadmap for environmentally sustainable innovation. We used more than 45,000 tons of recycled materials like post-consumer plastics, water bottles, CD cases, carbon fiber from the aerospace industry that would otherwise end up in landfills. We use that as a very strong and flexible and light material for our laptops. And when it comes to packaging, we're thinking outside of the box. We have a goal of having 100% sustainable packaging. We are at 95% there. 95% of our packaging is made from recycled, renewable, and recyclable materials. And we have pioneered over the years wheat straw, mushrooms, bamboo, and most recently ocean-bound plastic. So we actually work with partners to collect plastics in coastal areas and waterways around the world, which we then bring back into the economy and use as an innovative material as packaging for our computers. Then we get to the use phase, and this is where another very important design and innovation parameter comes in, energy efficiency. Since 2012, our products across the portfolio, whether it's computers or it's servers or it's storage or it's the IoT gateways, has seen a 64% improvement of energy efficiency. And for the servers, it's actually 75%. So that means that you, our customers, are able to get a lot more done with a smaller footprint on the environment, and of course also a smaller electricity bill. And then last but not least, at end of life or end of use, as we prefer to say, this is where we have a global electronics take-back program. We've taken back almost 1 million tons of electronics over the last 7 years. So really trying to see the whole life cycle, how can we drive sustainability there? And you might be in a completely different business, but some of this thinking is valid across any sector you might be in. Now, let's also look at what is the positive impact of technology that is possible. And we all heard about the Sustainable Development Goals today. I hope you all heard about them before. And the question is, of course, is there a business case? And yes, there is. Accenture and the Global E-Sustainability Initiative, they did a report a couple of years ago, and they estimate that the total business potential for ICT solutions alone is more than $2 trillion per year in 2030 for solutions that deliver progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals. So that is really 17 goals, which is an innovation list or a product roadmap, if you will, for how you can make an impact with your business. Zooming into a few of these examples, they estimate that ICT solutions can help to achieve a 20% reduction of global CO2 emissions through more energy efficient buildings, smarter transportation, smarter production, smarter living, you name it. They can also help to reduce the food waste, which is another global problem. Today we actually waste 30% of the food that is produced is wasted, is never benefiting anybody, whether a person or an animal. So with ICT, with clever cold chains, better management of food value chains, we can reduce at least 20% of that global food waste. And ICT solutions also have the potential to connect the unconnected to healthcare via health apps and other solutions that we see already really revolutionizing the healthcare sectors across Africa and India, for example. So those are some of the opportunities. And just to mention one example here, one of my favorites is AeroFarms, and they actually take us inside a farm here because they want to solve the challenge that in 2050 we're going to need 50% more food, while climate changes, water stress, shrinking arable lands are putting a pressure on our ability to grow food. So what they are doing is building farms, vertical farms. This is from inside a warehouse in New York or in New Jersey, outside of New York. So farms, vertical farms in big warehouses in totally controlled environments with monitors, with sensors, with machine learning, helping them to predict exactly how much light does the plants need, how much water do they need, when is the right time to harvest. So in that way, they're actually producing food with 95% less water and with 130 to 390 times more output per hectare or per piece of land. And at the same time, they're bringing the food production closer to all the urban centers where we know that the population will be living, majority of population will be living in the coming years. So this is one example, and so this is it's a farming company, but it's also a tech company. And we are proud to help AeroFarms to scale their vision and scale their company. So they're just one entrepreneur. We work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and true to our heritage and Michael's entrepreneur heart, this is one of the areas where we have a lot of programs as Dell Technologies. So we're working with entrepreneurs around the world, helping them to get access to our networks of customers or investors, opening market opportunities, opening access to capital. We have our Dell Technologies capital investing $100 million in startup ventures, tech startups every year. And we're also helping with expertise, with insights in technology and trends, often with our own team members, helping mentoring pro bono into entrepreneurs with insights in marketing, in sales, in HR, in finance, whatever it may be. So some ways that we are using our power, our big size to also help our peers and growth companies. And one piece I want to mention in particular is DWEN, Dell Women's Entrepreneurship Network, because yes, there is still an imbalance in male and female ratio of entrepreneurs, and there are still more barriers to women around the world to become successful entrepreneurs. So that's why now for more than 10 years, we have run the DWEN program to really bring together and nurture growth entrepreneurs with female leaders around the world by, again, connecting them to markets, to customers, being their technology advisor, helping them to understand how can they grow their business by using digital transformation solutions and which ones would be the right for them. Also by providing access to thought leadership, we are funding and making research, amongst others, the Women Entrepreneurship Index, where we're rating cities around the world for the best ecosystem for female entrepreneurs. And then we also bring together these women in Dwen summits around the world a couple of times a year. So our last convention was in Singapore, where we actually celebrated the 10 years anniversary. We had 150 participants there, speakers from high-ranking ministers to the next generation power girls. We did not have Greta there, but we did have other young girls, young women really also leading the change, in this case, looking at solutions for plastic pollution. The criteria to become a member of Dwen is, of course, to be a female leader of an entrepreneur, of a startup business, but also to have funding or revenue of $2 to $3 million per year, and the plans to scale already being in the process to scale. So it's not for the very early startups. It is really where we can help to support a growth and a scaling as well. And we do see a lot of the women in our Dwen network also running businesses that, of course, create jobs, create value, but also have an impact on the planet, whether it's solutions for fintech or financial literacy, or it's better water distribution in Africa. There's a lot of interesting cases there as well. So if any of you female entrepreneurs or male entrepreneurs with a female leader partner in your business, do come and join us at our next summit, which will happen in Utrecht in Netherlands in the beginning of December. And you can see how to sign up here, dell.com/joindwen. We would really love to see you there. And if you're not able to join us in Utrecht, do come and see us downstairs at our Dell Technologies stand, where we're there also to talk with you. We have Manuel, my colleague, who's also working with startups in the Spin Lab in Berlin, also a hub for sustainable digital innovation, especially in the digital city space. So, with that, we believe that entrepreneurs, business leaders have the responsibility and the opportunity to change the world with technology. As leaders, as people, as citizens of this planet, we do have a responsibility to take the right decisions and to unfold the potential of technology to do good for the world. So we are in that kind of business, and we do hope that you will join us in that as well. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Louise.
Thank you.